Good morning, children. Today we will continue the properties of solids, liquids, and gases. Before that, I wanted to tell regarding the classwork and homework. Your classwork, you are going to keep 200 pages notebook. Okay, in 200 pages notebook, what you are going to do is like last year. Okay, you divide the book into two parts, bifurcate into two parts. Okay, one part you write chemistry, the other part you write biology. I hope you got it. So what you are going to do, if this is your class 200 pages notebook, divide it into two parts equal. One part you write chemistry, the other part you write biology. So for classwork, you are going to keep 200 pages notebook, okay, for both chemistry and bio. Okay, and homework, you are going to keep 100 pages notebook. Did you people understand this? Once again, I'll repeat. For chemistry and bio, you are going to write in the same 200 pages notebook. Okay, by a 200 pages notebook. Okay, in that divide it into two parts. One part you write chemistry, the other part you write biology. So chemistry and bio you are going to write in the same book. I hope you got it. Okay, and for homework you are going to keep 100 pages notebook. Okay, chemistry and bio will write it in the same notebook. I hope you got it. Okay, that is what is about your classwork and homework. And for homework this week, okay, what you are going to do is from matter in our surroundings. Matter in our surroundings. First, second, and third question and answer. 2 times you are going to write. Hope you understood. Okay, in your homework book, matter in our surroundings, first, second, and third question and answer, 2 times you will write it. Okay, that is what is for your homework. Please write your notes very neatly. Okay, or else when you come for correction, I will tear it. Okay, so write your classwork and homework neatly. Now we come to the properties of solids, liquids, and gases. Write on the heading as properties of solids, liquids, and gases. Make 3 columns. Got it? Okay, now first. First, we'll study about the particles in solids, liquids. Particles in solids. Okay. How the particles are arranged? How the molecules are arranged in? How the molecules are arranged in solids? Can you tell me how the molecules are arranged? The molecules are closely packed, isn't it? In solids, the molecules are closely packed, isn't it? In solids, the molecules are closely packed. What about in liquids? In liquids, the molecules are loosely packed, isn't it? The molecules are loosely packed, isn't it? In gases, the molecules are very loosely packed, isn't it? So you can see here In solids, the molecules are very closely packed, isn't it? Whereas in liquids, the molecules are loosely packed. In gases, the molecules are very, you can see lot of space in between, isn't it? The molecules are very loosely packed, isn't it? Next one, we talk about the strong intermolecular force of attraction. Okay, what about in solids? The molecules are closely packed, isn't it? That means the molecules are held together tightly. So what about the force of attraction? There is strong force of attraction between the particles, isn't it? So intermolecular force of there is strong intermolecular force of attraction, isn't it? Okay, there is strong intermolecular force of attraction between the particles, isn't it? There is strong intermolecular force of attraction between the particles. What about here in liquids? Okay, molecules are loosely packed, isn't it? Therefore, there is weaker intermolecular force of attraction. There is weaker intermolecular force of attraction. Did you people understand that? Since in solids the molecules are tightly packed or the molecules are closely packed, there is strong intermolecular force of attraction between the particles. But whereas in liquids, molecules are loosely packed, isn't it? Therefore, there is weaker intermolecular force of attraction between the particles. We had discussed with respect to iron nail, isn't it? Can you break the iron nail using hammer? No. Why? Because there is strong intermolecular force of attraction between the particles of iron nail. That is why you cannot break the iron nail, isn't it? Did you people understand this? Okay. Whereas you can, I have told, I can easily cut through the water, isn't it? Why? Because that means I can easily move my hand in water, isn't it? That means why? Because they have weaker intermolecular force of attraction between the particles. That is why you can cut through water or you can move your hand in water, isn't it? Next, coming to gases. In gases, since the molecules are very loosely packed, okay, they have weakest intermolecular force of attraction, isn't it? Okay, in gases, okay, in gases, they have weakest intermolecular force of attraction. Did you people understand? That is weak in gases. Okay, there is in the intermolecular force of attraction is least between the particles, isn't it? Okay, or you can say in gases, intermolecular force of attraction is weaker between the particles. Did you people understand this? Next. We'll talk with respect to space. We already have drawn the diagram, so you people know. Okay, can you tell me what about the space? What about the space in solid? Since the molecules are closely packed, is there space between the particles? No, isn't it? So intermolecular space is least. Okay, can you see, since the molecules are closely packed, okay, the intermolecular space means what? The space between the particles is called as the intermolecular space. The space between the particles is called as intermolecular space. Okay. So can you see, since the molecules are closely packed, okay, the intermolecular space is least. Okay. In the next, here, since in liquids the molecules are loosely packed, okay, you can find space, isn't it? So intermolecular space is greater in liquids. Intermolecular space is greater. Do people understand this? Since in liquids the molecules are loosely packed, okay, the intermolecular space is greater. Next, what about in gases? You can still find more space, isn't it? That means intermolecular space is greatest. Intermolecular space is greatest. So I hope you people understood. Once again, we revise. In solids, the molecules are closely packed. Okay. In liquids, the molecules are loosely packed. Okay. In gases, the molecules are very loosely packed. Okay. Next, okay, since the molecules are closely packed in solids, okay, the strong intermolecular force of attraction, okay, between the particles of solids. Okay. In liquids, they have weaker intermolecular force of attraction between the particles. Since the molecules are loosely packed, okay, they have weaker intermolecular force of attraction between the particles. Whereas in gases, since the molecules are very loosely packed, okay, they have weakest intermolecular force of attraction between the particles. When you come to intermolecular space, what is this intermolecular space? Intermolecular space is nothing but the space between the particles, isn't it? Intermolecular space is least. Since the molecules are closely packed, okay, there is very least space between them. So intermolecular space is least. Okay. Whereas in liquids, intermolecular space is greater. Since molecules are loosely packed, intermolecular space is greater. Coming to gases, since in gases the molecules are very loosely packed, okay, intermolecular space is greatest. Next. I hope you people pause the video and copy down this. I'll rub this part. Okay, now next. This one people have studied earlier. Okay, in solids, do they have definite shape? Yes, isn't it? You take example of duster or chalk, they have definite shape. Okay, do they have definite volume? Since they occupy space, they have definite volume, isn't it? So solids, they have definite shape and volume, isn't it? The solids, they have definite shape and volume, isn't it? But liquids, do they have definite shape? The liquids, do they have definite shape? No, isn't it? They do not have definite shape. Do not have definite shape. Okay, but do they have definite volume? Yes, they have definite volume, but have definite volume, right? Okay, in liquids, liquids do not have definite shape, but they have definite volume, isn't it? They take the shape of the container. Take the shape of the container, isn't it? Okay, you people know. So liquids do not have definite shape, but they have definite volume, isn't it? You can measure the milk, isn't it, in liters, okay, or oil. You can measure, isn't it? So that means they have definite volume, okay. So liquids do not have definite shape, but have definite volume, okay. They take the shape of the container. They are filled, if you fill them in beaker, they take the shape of the beaker. If you fill it in conical flask, it takes the shape of the conical flask, isn't it? So they take the shape of the container. But what about gases? Gases, do they have definite shape? Okay, they neither have definite shape nor volume, isn't it? Okay. Gases that neither have definite shape nor volume. That means they do not have definite shape also. They do not have definite volume also. Since they occupy the, if you take a vessel, okay, since they occupy the entire vessel, okay, that means so they do not have definite volume. I hope you understood this. If you fill the gas in a vessel, they occupy the entire vessel, isn't it? So they do not have definite volume. So in solids, they have definite shape and volume. That means they have both definite shape and volume. Okay, liquids do not have definite shape but have definite volume, isn't it? And gases, they neither have definite shape nor volume. That means they do not have definite shape also. They do not have definite volume also. Next, this one you people don't know. Okay, now I will rub this. Take the shape of the container. Okay, now next. This fourth, fifth. See, coming to the term density, I don't know whether people have studied it last year or not. Density is nothing but mass by volume. Okay. Density is nothing but mass by volume. See here, when I say density is high, to take for example, and if the object is lighter, for example, wood, leaf, etc. Okay, they are lighter, isn't it? They are lighter by weight. They are lighter, isn't it? That means density is low. Do people understand this? Okay, wood, leaf, etc. Since they are lighter, okay, their density is low. Whereas, to take other examples of iron, okay, iron ball. To take if you take example of iron ball, etc., they are heavier, isn't it? That so we tell density is high. Okay. Did you people understand? Wood, leaf, etc. Density is, since they are lighter by weight, density is low. Whereas iron ball, okay, then any other objects which are heavier, okay, then we tell density is high. Did people understand this? So density is defined as mass per unit volume, or density is equal to mass by volume. I have told you density is, this formula I had given you last time. Density is equal to mass by volume. Okay. So when we tell density is low, if the object is lighter, for example, wood or leaf, okay, they are lighter. So we tell density is low. And if such as iron ball, etc., density is, they are heavier. So we tell density is high. Did the people understand this? So density is equal to mass by volume. So if the object is lighter, we tell density is low. Okay, if the object is heavier, density is high. So what about density of solids? Is it more or less? Solids density is greatest. Density is greatest. Solids, their density is greatest. In liquids, density is less than that of solids. Okay, density is less than that of solids. Okay, in gases, density is least. Gases, they are very lighter, isn't it? Gases, they are very lighter. So density is least in gases. Did you people understand this? So in solids, density is high. Density is greatest. In liquids, density is less than that of solids. In gases, density is least. Next, solids, can they flow? No. Solids cannot flow. Okay, solids cannot flow. It is not there. All these points are not there in your textbook. Liquids can flow, isn't it? What about gases? Gases can also flow. Gases can also flow. Solids cannot flow. Liquids can flow. Even gases also can flow. Okay, so both liquids and gases, they show property of fluidity. Okay, fluidity means what? The property of flowing. Okay, we tell us fluidity. Okay, so since liquids and gases they can flow, we tell liquids and gases have the property of fluidity. Okay, since liquids and gases can flow, okay, we tell the liquids and gases have the property of fluidity. Fluidity means ability to flow. Did you people understand this? Fluidity means ability to flow. Okay, name fluids means it includes both liquids and gases. Did you people understand this? Okay. Name the fluids means which can flow. It includes both liquids and gases, just not liquids. Lastly, compressibility. What is compressibility? Compressing means forcing into a small region. Okay, solids, can they be compressed? No, isn't it? Compressibility. Compressibility is negligible. Okay, compressibility is negligible. That means negligible means what? So less that it cannot be measured. Okay, compressibility is negligible. Negligible means what? Very less. That it cannot be measured. Okay, so the compressibility is so less that it cannot be measured. So compressibility is negligible. Okay, people understood this? Okay, compressibility is negligible means, okay, it is very small that it cannot be measured. Liquids can be slightly compressed. Okay, liquids, they can be slightly compressed. What about gases? Highly compressible. Highly compressible. Okay. Now, there is an experiment on this. I hope you people have written this point. We'll rub it. I hope you people are taking down all these points in your classwork. I told you whatever I write on the board, okay, everything you copy it in your rough note. What we have kept to write chemistry and bio. Okay, you should write the running notes. That is whatever I write on the board. Okay, you are going to take down that. So every time I cannot tell that this is there in your textbook, this is not there. Okay, so you copy, anyways, whatever I write on the board, it will be in points. So you can read easily. So you copy down. Whatever I write on the board, you copy it down. Okay, now next, what about the kinetic energy in solids? Can you tell me? I'll come to compressibility. There is an experiment, but I'll complete this. Well, what about kinetic energy? Is kinetic energy more or less in solids? Can you tell me? Will the molecules in solids move? Will the molecules in solids move? No, isn't it? The molecules in solids, they just vibrate about their mean position. Okay. In solids, molecules, they just vibrate about their mean position. They do not move. Okay, they do not move. They do not show any motion. Okay, they just vibrate about their mean position. Wherever they are there, they just vibrate about their mean position. Did you people understand this? In solids, the molecules, they just vibrate about their mean position. What about liquids? Molecules, since in liquid molecules are loosely packed, the molecules can move freely. Okay? In liquids, the molecules can move freely. Okay, what about in gases? Molecules can move more freely in all directions, right? Okay, in gases, since the molecules are very loosely packed, okay, the molecules can move freely in all directions, isn't it? So, since the molecules in solids, the molecules, they just vibrate about their mean position, but they do not show any movement. They do not show any motion. They just vibrate about their mean position. Okay, so what about the kinetic energy of the particles in solids? Since the just vibrate about the mean position, the particles in solids, they just vibrate about the mean position, kinetic energy is least, okay, in the particles of solids. Whereas in liquid, kinetic energy is, what about in liquids? Kinetic energy is greater compared to that of solids, isn't it? Since the molecules can move freely, okay, kinetic energy is greater. In gases, kinetic energy is greatest. So since the molecules can move freely in all directions, kinetic energy is greatest in in gases. I hope you people understood this. Once again, okay, in solids, I'm repeating again and again, since in solids, the molecules can vibrate about their mean position. You can just vibrate about their mean position. Okay, they do not move freely. Hence, kinetic energy is least. Whereas in liquids, the molecules are loosely packed. So, the molecules can move freely. Okay, that means they show motion and kinetic energy is greater. Coming to gases, okay, in gases, molecules are very loosely packed. So, they can move more freely in all directions. Hence, kinetic energy is greatest. I hope you people know what is kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? The energy possessed by a moving body is called as kinetic energy. Well, okay, any body which is moving will have kinetic energy. If the ball is moving, it will have kinetic energy, isn't it? The marble is moving, rolling, it has kinetic energy. Okay, any moving body will have kinetic energy. We have discussed. So, since the molecules just vibrate about their mean position, kinetic energy is least in solids. Whereas in liquids, molecules can move freely. Hence, kinetic energy is greater. Whereas in gases, molecules can move freely in all directions. Hence, kinetic energy is greatest. So there is one experiment for to show compressibility. We will do that. You are going to take 3 syringes. This is syringe B. Yes. Look here. What you are going to do is you are going to take 3 syringes. Okay. Let us name them as A, B, and C for our convenience. What you are going to do is you are going to close their nozzles. These are the nozzles, isn't it? You close the nozzles with a rubber cork. Okay. You close the nozzles with a rubber cork. Okay. And remove the piston from syringe A and B. Okay, remove the piston from syringe A and fill it with chalk. Okay, remove the piston from syringe A and fill it with chalk. Okay, insert the piston back. Okay, similarly, remove the piston from syringe B, okay, and fill it with water. Okay, and syringe C, leave it undisturbed. Don't do anything. Okay, did you people understand this? In syringe A, what you are going to do? You are going to remove the piston and fill it with chalk. In syringe B, remove and put the piston back. Okay, in syringe B, remove the piston, fill it with water, again close the piston. Put the piston back. Okay, then syringe C, let it remain undisturbed. Don't do anything. Okay, so first one syringe is filled with chalk. Second syringe is filled with water. Okay, third syringe, okay, you are not filled with anything. That means what is inside it? Syringe air, isn't it? So air is filled inside the syringe C. Now what we are going to do is compress, okay, by pushing the piston. Try to compress by pushing the piston. Will you be able to compress since it is filled with chalk? Okay, are you able to compress by pushing the piston? No, isn't it? Since it is syringe is filled with chalk, okay, you will not be able to compress by pushing the piston, isn't it? Therefore, compressibility is least, isn't it? Compressibility is least or compressibility is negligible, as I told earlier. That means it's so small that it cannot be measured. Did you people understand this? Since you're filling the syringe with the chalk, okay, when you try to compress, okay, you will not be able to compress. Sorry, you will not be able to compress by pushing the piston. Did you people understand? Since you have filled the syringe with the chalk, you will not be able to compress by pushing the piston. So, in solids, compressibility is least. Coming to second syringe B. So now, try to compress by pushing the piston. Okay, will you be able to compress? You will be able to slightly compress, isn't it? This syringe B is filled with water, isn't it? Okay, when we try to compress by pushing the piston, will you be able to compress? Yes, you can slightly compress, isn't it? Slightly compress in liquids. Did you understand this? In liquids, liquids can be slightly compressed. Did you people understand this? What you are going to, since you have filled the syringe with water, okay, when you compress it, try to compress by pushing the piston. You will be able to slightly compress, isn't it? So, liquids can be slightly compressed. But now this syringe is filled with air. Okay, now try to compress by pushing the piston. You will be very easily able to compress, isn't it? Did you people understand this? Okay, since it is syringe is filled with air, okay, when you try to compress, okay, it can be easily compressed by pushing the piston. So, gases are highly Gases are highly compressible. Hope you people understood. Okay, since this syringe is filled with air, okay, and when you'll be very easily able to compress by pushing the piston. Therefore, gases are highly compressible. Did you people understand this? That is what in solids compressibility is least. Okay, that is compressibility is negligible. In liquids, can be slightly compressed, and gases they are highly compressible. That is what is for today. Thank you.